it's Alex, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a quick review of the Hippolyta dress from Sew Me Something. And guess what I'm wearing? I've noticed everybody who's made this dress has at some point taken a photo of them doing this. I guess it's inevitable because of its shape. I said on probably one of my Friday sews videos that I was planning to make this dress. I had seen it and I was really drawn to it, partly because I really like making shirts, I really like shirt dresses, and I thought this was a slightly more unusual take on a shirt dress because obviously it has buttons to here, to sort of boob height, so it's more of a kind of throw on, really easy to wear casual dress, but it also has these really interesting style lines. So it has a yoke that runs across the sleeve and up to the neck, obviously back the other side, a panel in the middle here, and then a front sort of bib section, and then another panel here with the hidden pockets. And who doesn't love a pocket? So I was really drawn to it. I think it is obviously a great one for colour blocking or for pattern mixing. There's a challenge on at the moment, so over 50 have got a challenge. Actually, it probably might have come to an end, but anyway, about pattern mixing, using different patterns in one garment. I really struggle with that, I have to say. It's not something I've really ever had the confidence to try. I was going to say not ever pulled off, but I don't think I've ever had the confidence to try it. Anyway, you could with this. So my plan was to make it out of this fabric. This is the Unsquared fabric from Mind the Maker, and I bought it from Lamazi. And my plan was to try and mess around a bit with some of the style lines. But if you saw that video, I also said that this dress requires 2.4 meters and I had 2 meters. And I just couldn't quite get it to work. It's partly my fault. I intended that this section here would be, the lines would be horizontal, and when I came to cut it out I sort of forgot that, and then I just couldn't make the rest of it work. So I didn't quite manage to achieve what I had hoped to. I did get this front bit here on the horizon, you know what I'm trying to say, horizontally. Having said that, I'm really happy with how it turned out anyway. It would have been nice to be able to have more playing around on the cross grain, but maybe I'll save that for another time. This was the first time I made anything by Sew Me Something, and lots of people have recommended them as a pattern company. So I really was hoping that the instructions would be good and that I'd be really pleased with it, and the good news is they were ace. I made a size 14 and I had already cut it out by the time I talked about it here on YouTube, and a couple of people said be careful, they come up big. So I was quite pleased because my measurements put me as a 16, and I think going, well, somewhere in between the two maybe, but probably more 16 than 14. But I think going down that tiny bit was the right thing to do. Having said that, I wouldn't be too fooled by its oversizedness because I feel like it fits me just right. I don't think you want it to be really tight in any way. It works really well, and you don't want to be kind of moving your sleeves up and kind of your dresses being hiked up with it. I'm sure you know what I mean. I hope. But yeah, really liked the instructions, and of course the reason I could tell that a 14 would work was that she does give you the finished garment measurements. Some of my little niggles, you know, like instructions that only come in centimetres or inches and not the two, no, brilliant, all there, all the information you need. There was one change that I made, and that was that I reduced the size of the collar down. I just found it, I did make it up as, you know, the original, and I just found it a little bit pointy. Personal preference, just for my taste. So I've made the collar a bit smaller than it's designed to be, but possibly in a different fabric or another time I would keep it as is. But overall, yeah, I was really impressed with the instructions. For me, yeah, they're just about the right amount. We were, somebody was saying on our Clubhouse chat the other week that sometimes when you're given so much information in the instructions, it can be a bit overwhelming and you end up sort of skipping through them. And I would say this was just the right level. So yeah, definitely can recommend it as a pattern. And I can really see why it's so popular, because it's an absolute joy to wear. I mean, obviously I'm doing bare legs right now, and in case you're thinking those legs are so pale she needs some fake tan, let me tell you, there already is fake tan on these legs. Yeah, just try and remove some of the blue. But yeah, I think I would, just because of the nature of this print and these colours, I probably would only wear it with bare legs. But if I made it in a different fabric or a different colour, I would definitely wear it over trousers or leggings or tights in the winter and boots. Yeah, it's a really, really nice versatile pattern. I think it would look just as great made up in a heavier fabric, you know, even a wool or a flannel or something like that, as it would in something nice and floaty like this. Not really sure what that was about. So this fabric, which I said was the Mind the Maker fabric, was really nice to sew, and it's the second time, I think it's only the second time, that I've used Mind the Maker fabric, and there was a really marked difference between the quality of this one, as in it was much better than the fabric I used on a previous occasion, which was in a darker colour, and I got a lot of pulls in that viscose. I believe that they have changed the viscose that they're using, and you can really feel that, because yeah, these fabrics are not inexpensive, so you don't want to pay all that money and then yeah, it doesn't wear very well. But I can definitely recommend this. It was great and not too slippery, and not, I mean, in as much as viscose ever is. Really, really enjoyed sewing it, and it's nice to wear. Yeah, it's definitely nice to wear. I had a bit of a tinker with buttons. I've been saying recently that it's really difficult while we're in lockdown to match any colours for buttons. I have got a reasonable stash of buttons, but I did actually have a green button that matched really well, but it was just a bit too big, and I didn't like it. I felt it was a bit primary school. So what I did was I went onto Textile Garden, which is a website with the most beautiful buttons you've ever seen. I do believe they ship internationally if you're not in the UK. Definitely worth going and having a look. I've got no affiliation with them, I don't really know them at all, but honestly, they are, you know, they really have got a collection of the most amazing buttons. Yeah, whoever's buying for them has a brilliant eye. So what I did was I picked a few that I thought might work, but also knowing that I'd got that fabric that I bought for my Armadale dress, which is in a teal. So I bought a couple of options that might go with that fabric as well. And because I'm only buying packs of 4 or 5, I just thought, greens and teals are colours that I use all the time, so it's a fairly safe bet that if I don't use them for this project, I'm going to use them for another one. And in fact, I am really happy with the one I went with in the end. It's this metal button here, and although it's not an absolute exact match, I don't think it's a problem. I think your eye reads it quite well, and they're not too big. I like small buttons. I really do struggle to find small buttons. I was looking the other day for some, when I made my assembly line shirt, I was looking for some buttons that were sort of below 10mm that were just white. It's actually really hard to find. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe they're not very practical. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. Yeah, I love it. I really like the cuff on this. You know, it just has a turned over cuff. That's interfaced. I did my usual trick with interfacing, which is, although the patterns always say to interface the outer layer, whether it's the collar or something like this, which is a cuff or a button stand, I always use the interfacing on the inner side, just because, as I'm always saying, I don't like the stuff. I really don't like fusible interfacing. I always find it bubbles, no matter how long I stand there with my iron and my press cloth, you know, watching something on YouTube. always bubbles for me. So my trick is to use it on the inside, and then when you come to wash it and press it later on, you can get away with it a little bit more. And the other thing that I did that I really am chuffed with, nobody else is going to notice this, but maybe you will appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if you like this little touch. I used the selvage where it has the print of the company, you know, Mind the Maker, and I took the word maker and folded that up to make the loop, the hanging loop at the back. I'm not sure if you're going to pick this up, but if not, I will insert some pictures. And yeah, so it just says maker, and no one else is going to read that because obviously it's folded as well. But I liked that little touch. It gave me joy. So yeah, I had great fun making it. It's nice and quick as well, actually, because you've not really got any yolks or anything, and the notches were all beautiful. It all lined up really nicely. So it actually really didn't take very long to make at all. I am increasingly tempted to make that Cressida jumpsuit. Again, that was talked about during Clubhouse last weekend, which is another pattern from Sew Me Something. So I'm just having a think about whether I might do that or not. I've never really made those kind of boiler suit, jumpsuit styles. But yeah, anyway, big thumbs up from me. I'm going to do the inevitable pose before I head off, and yeah, the only problem I'm going to have is hiding this because my youngest daughter has already told me she's going to steal it and take it back to uni with her. That's what she thinks. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be marvellous. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.